Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stop being kind to everyone. You see, kindness has become a currency. Everyone expects it. And too often we are so eager to give it away that we forget its true purpose: to heal, to elevate, and to connect. But what if, in our quest to be kind to everyone, we've lost the ability to truly give it to the ones who need it most, including ourselves? Consider this: true kindness is not about giving endlessly. It's about knowing when to give and when to say no. When you are kind to everyone, you allow your boundaries to dissolve, and in doing so, you become a source of depletion for your own soul. You give without discernment, and others, taking it for granted, begin to expect more and more. In the end, you'll find yourself hollow, with little to offer. We must realize that not everyone deserves our kindness at every moment. Sometimes, withholding kindness is the most powerful act of care you can offer someone. It's a challenge to hold the mirror up to them and say, if you want kindness, you must first learn respect, responsibility, and accountability. By doing so, you don't hurt them, you help them grow. Kindness isn't about enabling destructive behavior or tolerating poor treatment. It's about discernment. It's about knowing that there are people who will take your kindness and never change. There are those who will drain you and leave you with nothing, so why continue pouring from an empty cup? Selectivity in kindness doesn't mean we stop caring for others. It means we start caring for ourselves. When we stop being kind to everyone, we set boundaries. We prioritize self-care. And from that position of strength, we can offer our kindness to those who truly need it, those who have earned it, those who will use it to grow. Remember, sometimes withholding kindness is an act of love. It teaches respect, accountability, and self-respect. It teaches others to rise to the occasion. So I ask you, what are you willing to sacrifice for the sake of kindness? Will you lose yourself to give a smile to someone who never asks if you're okay? Will you continue to offer kindness to people who only take and never give? Or will you instead begin to give that precious gift of kindness only to those who have earned it? To yourself and to those who have earned it. To yourself and to those who respect you and are willing to grow with you. Stop being kind to everyone. Start being kind to yourself. Because in the end, your kindness is your power. Don't give it away for free. When we talk about kindness, we often think of it as an unlimited resource, something that the more we give, the better the world will be. However, the reality is more nuanced. Kindness, while a beautiful and essential quality, has limits, and it's critical to understand the importance of setting boundaries. Without boundaries, kindness can quickly be taken for granted, or even worse, manipulated. Setting boundaries is one of the most vital acts of self-respect and self-preservation. It's not about being selfish or cold-hearted. Rather, it's about being mindful of where your energy, time, and emotions go. When you fail to establish boundaries, you expose yourself to the possibility of being emotionally drained, exploited, or hurt. This is not a reflection of your character, but rather a result of not protecting your own well-being. In fact, the ability to set boundaries can often be an indicator of emotional maturity and strength. When you are kind to everyone without considering your own emotional limits, the process of giving becomes a one-way street. You offer your support, your time, your love, your empathy, yet rarely do you receive any of that back. People begin to expect it from you. It becomes a given that you will always show up, always lend a hand, always listen. If kindness is given without consideration of your own needs, you eventually deplete yourself. The energy that could be used to nurture your own growth, happiness, and emotional health is spent on others, often with little to no recognition or appreciation. This is where the danger lies. Without boundaries, kindness can also easily become a form of enabling. You may feel that offering help, offering kindness is the right thing to do, but sometimes your kindness might allow others to avoid their own responsibilities or to keep making the same mistakes without facing the consequences. You might find yourself continuously rescuing others, covering up for their flaws or mistakes, and trying to fix problems that aren't truly yours to solve. In the process, you are not only draining your own energy, but you are also preventing others from growing, learning, and taking responsibility for their own lives. For example, consider someone who always turns to you in times of crisis, but never takes any steps to help themselves. You might feel a deep sense of duty to be kind, to offer your support, and to be there for them every single time they call. However, without boundaries, you enable them to continue in this cycle of dependence because they know they can rely on you to fix things, to offer guidance, or simply to be their emotional crutch. This cycle is not healthy for either party. In your efforts to be kind, you might even overlook the fact that this person may never have the chance to learn how to cope with their own difficulties, face challenges, or grow from their experiences. Your endless kindness may be stunting their personal growth. Moreover, setting boundaries doesn't just mean saying no to others. It means saying yes to yourself. It means recognizing that you are just as important as the people you help. Without boundaries, you lose sight of your own needs. You may begin to prioritize others' happiness or comfort over your own, believing that your value comes from how much you can do for others. This is a dangerous mindset. Everyone has a finite amount of energy and emotional resources. And when we give too much of ourselves without any regard for how much we can handle, we risk burning out. If we constantly ignore our own needs for the sake of others, we end up feeling empty, exhausted, and resentful. It's essential to realize that kindness is not about being everything for everyone. It's about being able to give what you can, when you can, and in a way that doesn't harm your emotional or mental health. Setting boundaries allows you to preserve your energy so that when you do offer kindness, it is genuine, sustainable, and most importantly, effective. It ensures that you have enough left in your emotional reservoir to handle your own challenges and needs. Furthermore, boundaries create respect. When you establish clear limits on what you are willing to give and when, you communicate to others that you value yourself, your time, and your energy. In turn, others are more likely to respect you too. People who understand and respect your boundaries are likely to appreciate your kindness even more, because it becomes clear that you are offering it not out of obligation or habit, but because you genuinely want to. In conclusion, kindness without boundaries leads to a depletion of your own emotional resources and can create unhealthy, imbalanced relationships. Setting boundaries is an essential act of self-respect and protection. It allows you to offer your kindness in a sustainable and meaningful way, ensuring that it is a gift rather than a burden. Boundaries help you preserve your emotional well-being, prevent you from enabling negative behaviors, and allow you to maintain healthy, reciprocal relationships. Kindness is a powerful tool, but without the wisdom to know when to give and when to say no, it can easily become something that harms you rather than heals. Genuine kindness is not simply about giving unconditionally to everyone, regardless of the circumstances. True kindness involves discernment, knowing when to offer your compassion and when it's best to hold back. This requires a certain level of wisdom and awareness, as well as an understanding of the complexity of human relationships. Kindness is not about blind generosity. It's about offering support, love, and empathy where it will have the most meaningful impact and where it is not being taken advantage of. When you extend kindness without discernment, it can become superficial. You may be offering a smile or a helping hand, but without considering whether it is truly needed or appreciated, the kindness becomes transactional rather than transformative. The essence of kindness lies in its ability to elevate and empower others, but when it's given indiscriminately, it often falls flat. People may come to expect it as a given, and over time, this expectation diminishes the value of what you are offering. If kindness is given without discernment, it can turn into an obligation, something done out of habit rather than genuine care or concern. Moreover, kindness without discernment can sometimes enable negative behaviors. There are people in our lives who may take advantage of our kindness, using it as a way to avoid facing the consequences of their actions. For instance, if you are always there to help someone who repeatedly makes poor decisions, your kindness may enable them to continue making those choices without ever learning from their mistakes. The act of offering help or support without holding someone accountable for their actions can inadvertently reinforce unhealthy patterns. This isn't the kindness that promotes growth or positive change. It's a kind of kindness that stunts personal development as it removes the pressure of accountability. It's also important to recognize that kindness is not always what someone needs. Sometimes people need a challenge more than a handout. Sometimes they need to face discomfort in order to grow, or they need to confront their own shortcomings in a way that forces them to reflect on their actions. Without discernment, kindness can prevent this from happening. A person who is always supported and never forced to face the consequences of their actions may remain stagnant, never progressing or evolving into the person they are capable of becoming. In many cases, offering kindness without discernment can keep people from taking responsibility for their own lives, leaving them trapped in a cycle of dependence. In contrast, discerning kindness is about offering support in ways that promote growth, responsibility, and accountability. It is about being able to assess the situation and understand what the person truly needs at that moment. Sometimes that need might be for you to listen, to empathize, or to give them a sense of validation. But other times it might be that the kindest thing you can do is to hold back, to allow someone to confront a difficult truth, or to let them deal with the consequences of their own actions. The wisdom lies in knowing when to give and when to step back, allowing the other person to grow through their experiences. True kindness recognizes that people are not perfect and that they may sometimes need to face the harsh realities of life in order to become better versions of themselves. It's about offering help when it will truly make a difference and withholding it when it would only enable further stagnation or prevent necessary growth. By being discerning with your kindness, you are offering it in a way that is much more meaningful and impactful. Additionally, discerning kindness also acknowledges the limits of your own capacity. Everyone has emotional reserves, and they are not infinite. If you give too much to too many people, you risk draining yourself and leaving nothing for your own needs. The act of discerning when to offer kindness involves knowing when you've reached your limit and when it's time to prioritize your own well-being. Kindness is a powerful force, but if you overextend yourself, you might find that you have little left to give when it truly matters. It's important to note that discerning kindness doesn't mean withholding help or compassion altogether. It simply means being mindful and intentional about when and how you offer it. This intentionality brings a deeper sense of purpose and impact to your actions, ensuring that your kindness is not squandered or taken for granted. When you give your kindness thoughtfully, it carries more weight, and it can spark real change in those around you. Moreover, when kindness is given with discernment, it creates a sense of mutual respect. People come to understand that your kindness is not something to be expected, but something earned and appreciated. This fosters healthier, more balanced relationships, where both parties feel valued and respected. Your kindness becomes a gift that uplifts both the giver and the receiver, rather than an expectation that leads to resentment or emotional exhaustion. Ultimately, kindness without discernment lacks depth. It becomes something done out of habit or social obligation rather than out of genuine care for others and their growth. Discerning kindness, on the other hand, requires careful thought, emotional intelligence, and an understanding of the complexities of relationships. It's about giving in ways that promote accountability, self-reflection, and personal development. When we approach kindness with discernment, we offer it in a way that is both meaningful and sustainable, ensuring that it creates a positive, lasting impact on both ourselves and others. Self-care is often misunderstood as selfishness or indulgence, but in reality, it is an essential component of maintaining emotional, physical, and mental well-being. Prioritizing self-care is crucial because it allows you to function at your best, which in turn enables you to be genuinely available for others. If you are constantly giving to others, especially when you have neglected your own needs, you will eventually run out of emotional resources to offer. This depletion can lead to burnout, stress, and even resentment, which will negatively impact both your relationships and your personal health. The notion that self-care is selfish stems from a misunderstanding of its true purpose. Many people feel guilty for taking time for themselves, particularly if they are naturally inclined to be kind and compassionate toward others. There is a pervasive belief that to be a good person, you must always put others first and sacrifice your own needs in the process. This is not only unsustainable, but it is also unhealthy. When we neglect our own needs, we become less able to offer our kindness, love, and support in the way that truly benefits others. In fact, when we do not take care of ourselves, we are ultimately doing a disservice to those we care about, because we become emotionally depleted and less effective in our relationships. In contrast, self-care isn't just about pampering yourself or seeking pleasure. It is about ensuring that you are emotionally, mentally, and physically well enough to engage with others in a healthy way. Taking time for self-care allows you to replenish your energy, clear your mind, and focus on your own needs. This replenishment is necessary for maintaining a sense of balance in your life. Without it, you will likely find yourself overwhelmed, stretched thin, and unable to offer genuine care to others. By prioritizing your own well-being, you ensure that you have the strength and emotional resources to support those around you in a meaningful way. Moreover, self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity for emotional and mental health. It is a fundamental practice that allows you to stay grounded, centered, and in touch with your own emotions. When you take time to care for yourself, you create a space to reflect, process your own feelings, and recharge. This is essential for avoiding emotional burnout and for being able to give your best to others. Without self-care, you risk becoming disconnected from your own needs and desires, which can lead to feelings of frustration, anxiety, and depression. Neglecting self-care can also cause you to lose touch with your sense of purpose and identity, as you become consumed with meeting the needs of others at the expense of your own. When you neglect self-care in favor of constantly caring for others, you may also be unintentionally teaching those around you that their needs are more important than yours. While it is admirable to be there for others, it is equally important to show them that taking care of yourself is essential for maintaining healthy boundaries and a balanced life. Teaching others to respect your needs and boundaries encourages them to do the same in their own lives. This, in turn, promotes a culture of mutual respect and understanding, where everyone's needs are valued. If you constantly give without receiving, or if you allow others to prioritize their own needs over yours, you are reinforcing the idea that self-sacrifice is the only way to show love or care. In addition to preventing burnout and emotional depletion, self-care helps you to stay connected to your own values and passions. When you are constantly in the service of others without tending to your own needs, it becomes easy to lose sight of what makes you happy, fulfilled, and motivated. Self-care allows you to reconnect with your personal interests and passions, which in turn enhances your ability to engage with others in an authentic and fulfilling way. It gives you the space to pursue hobbies, interests, or projects that bring you joy and satisfaction, creating a sense of balance in your life that benefits not just you, but everyone around you as well. Furthermore, prioritizing self-care allows you to be more present and effective when you do choose to give your time and energy to others. When you are well, rested, emotionally stable, and physically healthy, you are better equipped to handle the challenges and demands of helping others. You can give without feeling resentful or depleted, and your kindness and support will be more genuine and impactful. By taking care of yourself, you ensure that you are not only capable of helping others, but that you are doing so in a way that is sustainable and healthy for both you and those around you. In the end, self-care is not about being selfish. It is about ensuring that you are in a position to be the best version of yourself, both for your own sake and for the sake of others. It is about recognizing that in order to be there for others, you first need to be there for yourself. By investing in your own well-being, you create a solid foundation upon which you can build stronger, more meaningful connections with those you care about. Taking care of yourself is not only beneficial for you, it is also beneficial for everyone around you. In conclusion, the idea of stop being kind to everyone is not an invitation to withhold kindness altogether, but rather to approach it with discernment, wisdom, and boundaries. Kindness, when given without consideration of our own well-being or the true needs of others, can quickly become a source of depletion and enable unhealthy patterns. By understanding when to set boundaries, prioritizing self-care, and offering kindness selectively, we ensure that it remains a meaningful and transformative force in both our own lives and the lives of others. We must recognize that true kindness is not about giving endlessly, but about offering it thoughtfully in a way that fosters growth, respect, and mutual care. Thank you for taking the time to listen and reflect on these important concepts. I encourage each one of you to take this message to heart, to care for yourselves, and to approach your relationships with a new sense of wisdom and intentionality. May you always know when to offer kindness, when to hold back, and how to protect your own peace in the process. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for your time, energy, and presence today.